We've dealt very successfully with the wind, but I've still got pencil on the corners of my surface, and there will be those slight steps where the shavings were stopped or started. So the final finishing move is to take one set of ordinary shavings off this surface. You'll notice that I almost always scribble. I find it very helpful. Now, centre of plane 10 mil in. Centre of plane 10 mil in. That's about 3/8, by the way, for you chaps who still use imperial. I'm very bad, I use a mixture of both. Just a fraction of pencil left there. Now, that should be my surface finished. The one detail I'll double check is the flatness of width, because in due course I'm going to be doing a lot of squaring to look at the edge, and I know that I mustn't put my set square on a bump. That's lovely. That's spot on. Now, that's my face side. I have developed a special face side mark of my own, which is an adaptation of the traditional mark, which would look like this, a sort of a P. This traditional mark says I'm a face side, here is the face edge. My mark says one extra thing. It says I'm a face side. I was planed in this direction, and here is the face edge. And the joy of this is that if I come back to a surface near the end of the job, I don't inadvertently plane it the wrong way and cause massive tear out. Or in another case, I don't have to get my magnifying glass out again and try and decide which way the fibres are lying. My model of timber is a bundle of fibres and tubes. And in this little component, I think that the fibres and tubes are angled up like that, and therefore quite clearly we plane it like stroking the dog. We don't plane it in this direction and tear the fibres up. Now that is confirmed by this fibre mark that I like to use on the edge. The fibre mark is a representation of what I see on that edge. Sycamore is quite a close-grained timber. It's really difficult to see the fibres and tubes in this. So I might have to get out a little magnifier. I've got an example here. This is some walnut. On this edge, the fibres are much easier to see. Sorry, I say fibres, but what I really am looking at are tubes which have had part of their sidewall planed away. And the end product is that the marks I'm looking for look like a little scratch made with a blunt pin. And there's a whole spectrum of scale. You'll find some timbers very easy, and some timbers like boxwood or ebony almost impossible. And in that case, we probably resort to the suck it and see method, which would be quite simply to take a shaving in this direction and feel and see the result, take a shaving in the opposite direction and try and decide which one's giving you the best result. You can always resort to that, and you can also resort to that at the beginning of the job on your machine planer. If you're in doubt, take a fine shaving in either direction and see which is better. Put the fibre mark on and maintain it till the end of the job. Now, our next job on this piece of timber is going to be to plane the precision face edge. So I need to know in which direction I'd be better planing this edge. And I certainly need a magnifying glass. A low raking light will often help you. And I'll look at 2 or 3 places along this edge and perhaps just very gently mark what I see. This is being well behaved. I got the same impression in each position. Now, of course, in larger pieces of timber, you may well find that the fibres are going up and down, up and down, up and down in some kind of random manner. And in those cases, you either follow the majority direction or you look for the fibres that are steepest to the edge, because the steepest ones are likely to be the ones that give you the worst tear out. So there we are, I've marked my face side, and there's the fibre mark which will tell me which way to work this edge, which is that way.